This is the CBC Morning Report for Thursday, September 14th. I'm Tisha Hines. Good morning. In our top story, within another 30-plus years, dementia will impact 160% more people, and that's why the prevention and care of the illness has to be tackled earlier in life. Dr. Nicole D. Anderson, the Associate Scientific Director, Kimmel Family Center for Brain Health and Wellness, and researcher with Baycrest Academy for Research and Education, was recently in Barbados for an Alzheimer's seminar. She spoke on the topic of dementia risk reduction at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center, where she made it known that dementia numbers will heighten and a personalized approach has to be taken.
The prevalence of dementia is going to really rise around the globe, increasing 166% by 2050. The good news is that it's not going up, well, the prevalence is going up everywhere, but the incidence is not going up everywhere. So the incidence is the likelihood that any one person is going to get it is actually decreasing in developed worlds. This is great news. It's saying that by taking better care of these conditions we've heard about before, of high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, things like that, we can help reduce the likelihood of anybody getting it. But nevertheless, prevalence is going up just due to population aging, as we've heard about.
She added that there are several risk factors and all have to be taken into consideration.
We need to consider both the non-modifiable dementia risk factors, because as I've heard Pamelia say many times before, somebody can do everything right and live like a saint and still get it, and that's true, because there are some risk factors for dementia that we can't do anything about. And the first one we've heard about already, that the likelihood of developing dementia increases steadily with increasing age, and we have an aging population. So that is the biggest driver of the increase in prevalence that we're going to see.
While genetics play a major role in dementia, there is some good news.
The good news is that most of the genetic influence on risk of dementia is just increasing one's risk of getting it. It's not genetically predetermining that you are going to get it if you carry these genes. There are those cases, but they are quite rare. And so for most of us, we might carry some risks, some genes that increase our risk, but in the way that I view it is that if you have these genes that are increasing your risk, you can help reduce that risk by healthy lifestyle. So take, for example, Alzheimer's disease. The famous gene in Alzheimer's disease is the apolipoprotein gene, or ApoE. There's one variant of it that's been associated with increased risk of Alzheimer's disease, the E4 allele or variant. If somebody has one of these, we all have two of these. If somebody has one, their risk is 3 times higher than somebody who doesn't have 2 of this bad form of this gene. If somebody has both of them, the risk is 9 times higher than somebody who doesn't have either of the bad gene. So 3 and 9% increase. That's one gene, though. We know that many other genes are involved in contributing to Alzheimer's risk.
Still to come on the CBC Morning Report, concern in Trinidad and Tobago about drugs placed in edibles.
Are you a youth group, 4-H club, school, Cub Scout or Brownie Pack, or any organization or club with children ages 4 to 11 years? If yes is the answer, then we at Fun School, we're looking for you. Let's have fun singing, dancing, listening to amazing stories, doing craft, and so much more. I'm such a kid at heart. But to be part of this fun and exciting new season of Fun School, just simply send an email to Alicia Alves Grant at aa.grant@cbc.bb for further details. Fun School is back, and we're looking for you. For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news.
The presence of drugs and edibles is becoming a concern for the police in Trinidad and Tobago. Sergeant Joseph Jordan of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service wants parents to be aware of what their children might be consuming to prevent possible risks. Tobago Updates brings us more.
The use of substances has become prevalent among school children due to their exposure to society. It has led to unfortunate situations, and parents are advised to keep a close eye on their children. Sergeant Jordan discussed a case involving a school child who fell from their home's balcony. Initially ruled as a suicide, it was later determined to be the result of substance use in the form of a brownie. He also explained that the effects of drugs can differ from person to person.
Drugs affect persons differently. So you may have a brownie, nothing happens to you. Your other friend may have one and start to do things that is uncharacteristic of them. So accepting things from persons, drink, food, you must be very particular.
Jordan explained how children are exposed to these substances, particularly through brownies. Sergeant Jordan pointed out that the varying potency of these substances can significantly impact those who use them. He issued a warning about accepting items from strangers that individuals might be unaware of.
But parents, we need to be aware as to what our children are doing. And observation, when children return from school, or we return from social events, parties, look at them. Because if you are drunk, you would see that they are drunk. If you are behaving in a strange way, it may not be alcohol, it may be some other drug.
Sergeant Jordan also highlighted the destructive effects of alcoholism in our society, particularly the risky practice of mixing drinks. The issue of gateway drugs was also raised, along with an explanation of how it leads to further problems. It is a problem that Sergeant wants parents to be aware of.
We have our gateway drugs. We start with our cigarettes, we start with our alcohol, and therefore we build on that. So we might graduate to marijuana. We may graduate on a combination of drinking, because alcohol use of itself is a very potent, destructive aspect of our society, because persons sometimes mix their drink.
St. Lucia's Minister of Education, Sean Edwards, has denounced recent acts of students' misbehavior, particularly brawls that have been occurring after school. He is also taken aback by the documentation of these events that have been posted on social media, as we hear from HTS TV.
The recent flare-ups came amid reforms in the education and school systems.
We continue to make school security a priority area of programming for us. As you quite rightly pointed out, we have had a few skirmishes in schools. That's inevitable. Students have been fighting from the day schools were established, but that does not mean any way whatsoever condoning fights and acts of indiscipline in school. I have sat with the Chief Education Officer and other senior personnel in the ministry, as well as other stakeholders in education, and we have adopted a zero-tolerance approach to acts of indiscipline. You know that we have incorporated technology in education in a very, very big way with the distribution of smart devices to every single child in the secondary school. We continue to rehabilitate primary and secondary schools, establishing smart classrooms to try and maximize whatever benefits we can derive from incorporating technology in education.
The minister has warned of punitive measures for not only the combatants, but students who escalate the violence for promotion on various social media platforms through the use of smartphones and other devices.
We are going to send a very, very strong message to the students who record the fights. Those who fight, they will be dealt with, of course, accordingly. And if they continue to violate school rules, then, as I said, they will be dealt with. But it is totally unacceptable that we are fast becoming a society where young people, instead of trying to diffuse situations that have the potential to escalate into fights, instead of taking that position, instead they pull out their smart devices and they record the fights, and then before you know it, we have a spectacle on social media for the consumption of the wider population. This will not be tolerated, and I personally will go into every secondary school to eyeball the students and to let them know that this will not be tolerated. And any child, once we have the evidence that you were a bystander recording a fight with the intention of circulating that on social media or amongst your friends, we will be extremely hard on those students.
The minister also urged parents to play a role in preventing student indiscipline.
Belize is looking to procure additional resources from the United States to tackle the growing influence of narcos in Belize. Recently, the Minister of National Defense and Border Security, Florencio Marin Jr., met with high-ranking U.S. officials to discuss ways of tackling the drugs trade. Belizean officials recently discovered and destroyed a cocoa plantation.
It was found, it was destroyed. One of the things, I don't know if you'd call this good news, but one of the things I'm told is that the soil where the coca plant was made is not the best soil for the good coca plant, so to speak. No, but it's already a sign that how these people are creeping up and crawling and bringing into Belize. We now have to be more alert to be able to detect where these plantations may be coming up, and to go straight after, and once we find them, to eradicate them.
Sir, can you speak to the difficulty of getting into these areas to do that type of work?
That is the biggest challenge that the military have. Now the ability to insert our troops rapidly, because usually, remember, these soldiers, they're going on foot patrol, and if they encounter any incidences and they report it, it is difficult for us to be able to immediately react and insert more troops. So that is one of the challenges. That's one of the challenges that we are working on right now. To be able to hopefully be able to make the military more mobile.
Were these kinds of discussions brought up as the ministry and the BDF met with the folks that came in from the U.S. recently?
Yes, these were some of the main issues that we explained to them. They came and they wanted to know what's happening in Belize, and they showed genuine interest in our concerns. We explained that to them from my ministry's perspective. I explained similar what I just said about the coca plantation, our mobility, and all that, and they seem genuinely concerned about it, and we've asked them to where they can to help us.
The technology for a robot revolution may not exist yet, but as artificial intelligence becomes more prevalent, the need for some regulation is mounting. Several tech industry leaders, including Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, Tesla's Elon Musk, and OpenAI's Sam Altman, met with U.S. senators for the first of 9 fora intended to address growing concerns over just what AI can do and how it can be used safely.
The future is here. Artificial intelligence is rapidly gaining traction, and now the U.S. government is playing catch-up to put safeguards in place.
We're on the cusp of a new industrial revolution with enormous promise, but a panoply of perils.
Nearly a dozen industry leaders, along with several labor unions, civil rights, and entertainment industry representatives, convened on Capitol Hill Wednesday for a forum intended to chart a path toward comprehensive regulation. On the agenda, ways to harness the benefits of AI.
When it comes to fighting cancers, fighting long-term illnesses and so forth, I think AI has real opportunities.
Along with a number of growing concerns, including job protections, national security, copyright, and defending against doomsday scenarios.
What often keeps me up at night is the effect of AI potentially in displacing millions of American workers.
But Gizmodo AI reporter Thomas Germain says apocalyptic fears are just a distraction from problems AI is already creating, like racial bias and facial recognition software and new ways to spread misinformation.
If we're all worried about the robots taking over, then we're not going to be concerned over these, more boring, mundane issues.
Last week, a bipartisan framework for a European-style regulatory agency was introduced in the Senate, a move lauded by many in the tech industry.
Let's prioritize safety and security, which your framework does.
Though some critics are concerned regulation could stifle innovation, the hope is to get ahead of the tech and keep the industry in check.
Away in Washington, D.C., where the United States Department of Justice and Coalition of State Attorneys General have accused Alphabet's Google of unlawfully abusing its dominance in the search engine market to maintain monopoly power. The Justice Department and 52 attorneys general representing U.S. states or territories say Google unfairly forced its domination of online search by paying billions of dollars to Apple and other business partners to ensure its search engine would be the default on most phones and browsers. The government's lawsuit, filed in 2020 in federal court, alleges these deals were intended by Google to be exclusionary, denying rivals access to search queries and clicks, and allowing Google to entrench its market dominance.
Think about how you search the web. You pull out your phone and type a question. Chances are you're already using Google. There are other search engines, but 90% of the world uses Google to find the information they want. And search is what makes Google and its parent company Alphabet one of the most profitable firms on the planet. Here's how it works. You want to find that coffee shop. Advertisers, like the nearby ones, have already put in bids for the keywords you're going to look for. If they've bid high enough, or the keywords are specific enough, their business will pop up first. You might go buy a coffee, but when you click the ad, the coffee shop pays Google a fee. That's Google Ads. But as you browse the web using Google, its cookies and bots follow you, building a profile that will target other companies' advertising on other websites to you. You can turn the trackers off, but you probably won't. And it's all extremely profitable. Google made more than $160 billion last year from the ads in search.
But why does Google often come up first when you purchase a new mobile device? According to the U.S., it's because the company paid Apple, Motorola, Samsung, and others billions of dollars to be the default search option. Google acknowledges the deals, but doesn't specify the terms. The U.S. says that's unfair, so it's using a law from the turn of the 19th century to stop it.
The Sherman Act simply says you cannot have anti-competitive agreements and you cannot monopolize or attempt to monopolize. That's all it says.
The last time the U.S. government took on a tech company this big was in the 1990s. The target was Microsoft, and Bill Gates had to testify that his company wasn't forcing out competing internet browsers. Microsoft lost. It was broken up, then it appealed and paid a penalty. More than a generation later, Microsoft is now Google's toughest search competitor, thanks to new AI-powered search options in Bing.
I think the reason why now is just that we have a more progressive regime that's willing to go after some of these cases. And obviously this was started in 2020, so it isn't the Biden administration alone just going after it. But there's just been a larger push to go after a lot of these tech companies now because they've gotten so large.
Google says it makes a powerful and fair product that helps businesses grow. And if users want to choose a different search tool, they can. But this is just one of several cases the U.S. is making against the giants of Silicon Valley.
It's time now to preview what's coming up on Morning Barbados. Today we're meeting a few Chevening scholars. The British High Commissioner will be on as well to tell us about the 2023 deadline, which is fast approaching. And we're also talking students in transition. You definitely want to stay tuned for that. Madam Justice Barbara Cook-Haleen will be in, along with Margaret Grant, author and camp director of Camp Transition, to talk to us more about getting the little ones ready for back to school. And then, of course, we're telling you about the Values in Education Conference that's coming up in mid-October. That's all at 6:30, but next we have more news, sports, and weather. Stay with us. Progress is being made with Barbados' efforts to establish a workplace policy for gender-based violence. Several local and regional employers have signed on to a special project to implement the plan. Wendy Burke has all the details.
The official statistics state that 1 in every 5 women is impacted by violence in the workplace. However, the Labour Minister believes Barbados and the region's numbers could be higher, but data is not always available. Colin Jordan says this policy is not about compliance with international organizations and their programs, but about doing what is right. Minister Jordan says gender-based violence has impacted women and girls globally with a greater frequency than males, but both are negatively impacted by it.
Violence and harassment in the world of work and at work causes harm to individuals, causes harm to families, causes harm to businesses and to the wider society. It affects people's lives. It affects people's dignity, their self-esteem, their health, their well-being. It also worsens inequalities in societies and undermines business productivity. There should be no place for and no tolerance for violence and harassment.
The president of the Caribbean Employers Confederation commended all those companies that have endorsed the implementation of the Spotlight project.
Among the key milestones of this first stage of our Spotlight initiative was the creation of a gender-based violence workplace policy template, backed by a toolkit, communications materials, and training programs. We commend all employers and our partners in the labor movement for their endorsements. Indeed, ours is the only program that has been granted Phase 2 funding. This, however, should be seen as a humbling assessment of the ongoing potential of the program to impact our workplace for good.
A memorandum of understanding was signed by local companies and the labor officials, along with the UNFPA, the United Nations, and the European Union, who are all on board with the project. Wendy Burke, CBC News.
Thank you, Wendy. Time now for a look at sports. A dream come true. That's how the new West Indies women head coach Shane Dietz has described his appointment. Dietz took over from Jamaican Courtney Walsh and will lead the regional women on next month's tour of Australia. The 48-year-old, who was the head coach of the Bangladesh and Netherlands women's teams, outlined elements of his coaching philosophy to CWI Media.
I really think it's about the girls taking responsibility for this team, and I'm really strong on things off the field as well as on the field. I really believe that, if you're organised, strong young woman off the field, you're going to do that on the field as well, and that's something that we're going to be working a lot on, a lot of the stuff off the field. On the field there's lots of talent, but we really got to enhance and bring that talent, organise that talent together, and a lot of those things off the field we'll be working on, the team culture, leadership within the team, and particularly when the girls are away from the team environment, back on their islands and own countries, that they'll be able to do some work and keep up their cricket and fitness levels and other off-field personal development things that we'll be working on.
He says the tour of Australia was a chance to test the strengths of the players. The regional women will play 3 T20s and 3 ODIs in Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne.
Each place in Australia has its unique characteristics as well, so we'll be using those in our selection and game plans and tactics to what suits the best pitch. It's quite early in the Australian summer, so particularly a place like Melbourne, it could be 25, 30 degrees and it could be 15 degrees, so we're going to have to be a little bit flexible. So the conditions may change a bit, but Sydney and Brisbane will be great venues, and all the venues are really great, and so we're going to have some good quality pitches to play on, which will suit our way we want to play cricket.
Time to take a look at weather on this already very warm Thursday. The barometric pressure stands at 1011.7 millibars. It's already 27.1 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity stands at 78%, and the winds are blowing out of the east-southeast at 13 kilometers per hour. Present temperature or weather is fair. Sea conditions for Barbados today: smooth to moderate in open water with swells ranging from 1 to 2 meters and increasing. Here's a look at how the tides roll in today. Be careful as you head on out for your early morning sea baths. And the general forecast, partly sunny with isolated light showers. Maybe that will help to cool the day down, because into the evening, here's what you can expect. It will be mostly clear. And that's today's morning report. Our next newscast is Newsday at 12 noon on TV8, followed by The World at 1 via our radio network of stations on Q100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM. It's time now for Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you on this Thursday, September 14th. So good to have you in company. Welcome to another Morning Barbados presentation. I'm Tisha Hines, and I'll be here with you until just around 8 o'clock this morning. So we're going to have a good time today as we continue to talk about getting back to school ready. The big question is, are you back to school ready? We're giving the little ones an opportunity to win with us here on Morning Barbados. So I want to make sure I give you ample notice. Today is the day, the final day, to get a chance at that headset, along with a tablet and a printer, a wonderful tech bundle that would be a good addition for that little one to head back out to school. They must be between the ages of 8 and 15 to call in, answer 3 very simple questions for a chance to win, and we, of course, will announce the winner of that bundle as well. We'll tell you more about that too. Now, have you heard of the Speightstown Duppy Dust case? I have not. But apparently on the 14th of September, 1912, Amy Daniel, a resident of Speightstown in St. Peter, stood in the dock of the Assistant Court of Appeals before Justices Knight, Briggs, and Gowdy, or that might be Gowdy, who knows? And to appeal a sentence of 1 month's imprisonment for smearing duppy dust on the face of her friend Rebecca Scantlebury. Now, Rebecca Scantlebury reported that while she was at Mr. Hutchinson's ironmongery, I don't know what that is, with a friend named Margaret Burrows, Miss Daniel choked her by the neck in the presence of another witness, Georgina Stanford, and rubbed an unknown substance across her face, which resulted in immediate pain and discomfort. People, it was duppy dust. As word of the attack swept all across Speightstown, residents quickly concluded that Amy Daniel, though not a known practitioner of obeah, had used duppy dust in this unwarranted attack. By evening, Rebecca Scantlebury, who was employed as a cook at Haywood's, could barely see. We have to say thanks so much to the Barbados Museum and Historical Society for sharing that information with us. Ah, what a story. The duppy dust case. It actually happened, people, right here in Barbados and in Speightstown. I have one warning for you today. Beware of people walking around bearing duppy dust. I'm kidding. All right, so we have lots planned for you today, but that certainly is a nice piece of Bajan history and Bajan folklore for you to go through today with. Coming up, we're going to be meeting a few Chevening scholars. Joycelyn Aline, a 2023 scholar, is going to be here. We're also going to have His Excellency Furston Wood, the British High Commissioner to Barbados. He will be on along with Gilly Metzin, the political and Chevening officer with the British High Commission here in Barbados. And they're talking to us all about the quickly approaching deadline, which is the 7th of November, so they want to make sure that you're getting in there. We're going to talk about the scholarship and how you can be a part of that very amazing program. There are lots of Barbadians and people from down the region who've benefited tremendously from being recipients of the Chevening Scholarship Program, and we're going to let you know how you can be a part of it. So we're also talking about the International Conference on Strengthening Values Education. I've been having an amazing time speaking with all of the presenters who are going to be here from the 12th to the 14th of October for that conference that's going to be at the Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Center, and talking about how it can be integrated into Barbadian society from corporate to regular communities and what it would mean for us. That is coming up a little later on the show as well. Plus, like I told you, the back to school promotion is going to feature heavily. And that's why we're starting out talking about back to school, because we know that's what's on your mind. Usually on my way to work, I'm the only person sauntering down the road, making it here from St. Philip. No can do. Today, I was in a line of traffic. I know people are trying to get out a little bit earlier, kind of get ahead of the traffic and get into Bridgetown early as you pick up the last few little bits and bobs and get ready for back to school on Monday. Prepare yourselves for that traffic. So joining us again, and we've had a fantastic run with Margaret Grant, who is an author, teacher, director of Camp Transition. She's back with us today as we look to that big day. Back to school is a major, major thing. Some of the private schools are already back to school, but most certainly the public secondary schools are heading back in on Monday. And she's brought along with her Madam Justice Barbara Cook Alleen, Acting Judge, Supreme Court. So good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's good to have both of you with us today. All right, so I'm going to start again with you, Ms. Grant, talking about the camp and the transition. All that you've shared, people have appreciated so much, because sometimes, yes, there are things we know, but to kind of reinforce and get it all in one great checklist really makes all the difference. So at this stage, it's the Thursday before the Monday. There, it really is, like, as we would say in Bajan parlance, the last going down.
Correct.
As you get ready for back to school. Your final words for parents in terms of making sure that they're not making the little ones too anxious as they get ready, particularly maybe to go into secondary school.
Okay, by now I'm sure all children have their textbooks, and they're pretty excited about receiving all of these new subjects. I think children are ready to explore the new world. Parents also are kind of excited, but at the same time it might be mixed, might have mixed feelings in terms of being overwhelmed as to how the children will really cope. They're probably looking at the downside as well, the kind of challenges that they'll be facing and anticipating. But I think that we need to probably look positively and recognize that it is a whole new world that the children are going into. And all the parents have to do, as they've been to the orientation sessions with the schools, I'm sure some had them this week, some had them last week. We're having ours this morning. And I'm sure parents will, as long as they follow the instructions of the school, they look at the guidelines that the schools have set out, follow the rules, adhere to the rules, support their children. That is all that is needed. Support. Remember, he said, parental support is the oxygen that children need to survive secondary school.
All right, parental support is the oxygen that children need to survive secondary school.
Don't give them that support, you're going to starve that child, you're going to kill it.
All right, now there's a program called the Winner's Circle, and it really is aimed at pupils who recently did the Common Entrance exam. And I know, Madam Justice Cook Alleen, you are a major part of that as well. So tell us more.
Winner's Circle was first created in 2008 while I sat on the bench in juvenile court. I'm seeing the children coming in not recognizing that they cannot be charged for a crime. Age 11 is age of criminal responsibility. So I thought I needed to do something to deter them from that. And I reached out to different organizations, Barbados Police Service, Family Planning, because their bodies is changing. We need to explain to them about puberty and abstinence. The police service would have helped us with the drug substance abuse to let them know what it can do to your body and the charges that come against you as well. And Margaret was on our team as well with transition. Needed to understand the difference between primary and secondary. And we thought the parents needed to know as well
they're transitioning as well. So we embrace them as well in some parenting conferences that we're having right now so that they can understand the transition and also general tips for parenting in this digital age that we live. It's a different era from when we were children altogether. Parenting is completely different today than it was when I was a child.
Absolutely. So how can you become a part of this program?
We had a session, 2 sessions already, one with Margaret with transition, one with Shelley from St. Michael's School in respect of being the cheerleader for your child. That's very important. You should be the ultimate, most important cheerleader up front, supporting them, as Margaret said, the oxygen. And then we're having this week, we're looking at an interesting one, a panel discussion with a student, a parent, and then a person talking about digital footprint, the social media use as well. Yes.
That truly is very important. Let's talk about that, Margaret. When you wrote your book, yes, technology was here, but things have changed so drastically. What are parents missing?
I think...
Don't say everything.
I think sometimes parents, years ago, if a child is outside, as we would say, running about, they can get into trouble. Some parents will say, come in this house, once you're in here, you're out of trouble. Nobody can call your name. Now children are in the house, and they're even doing more damage to themselves and to the family because they're on their devices, they're very quiet, they're not giving any trouble, but at the same time, what are they doing? They're being exposed to a lot, positive and negative, okay? And I think many times now the parents are hidden from this. All of this is hid from the parents. And also, because some children are using the opportunity now to do deviant things, things that they know the parents would not agree to, they then develop this whole thing about being deceptive. And with that comes lying and all the cheating behaviors. So we want parents to be more aware. Stop pulling the towel over your eyes and saying, I don't belong to this digital age. You belong. As long as you have a child in this world, you belong to the digital age. And you need to get with it. Get with the program. Get with the program.
All right, so Madam Justice Kakaleen, what would you say? I know we're talking about mainly about students transitioning from primary to secondary school. All of a sudden you have your little ones who were the oldest ones at school. Now they're going to be the little ones in an environment where in some instances they can be with some students who are in their very late teens and things like that. What advice would you have for them based on what's being shared through the Winner's Circle program for parents to be able to help them adapt and kind of thrive in that environment?
First of all, what you say, the schools are key. And what they do at first form is to make sure to separate them from the older school for at least that first year. So there's a bar between them so they can actually grow into the school themselves and not have any issues with anybody older than them. So each secondary school has that barrier. They're isolated as much as they can be from the older children for that first year. But the parents, you need to be more in tune with your children, what's happening with them. Bullying is everywhere. Private, public school, it is there. You need to be in tune with what's happening with them. So one of our sessions on emotional intelligence parenting, something modern for the 21st century. You didn't have that in my time. You did something wrong, you judged me, and I got punished. You have to learn to listen to what's happening to that child, what's behind that behavior, to see what's the emotion that's actually triggering it. So pretty actually have that new outlook of thinking, okay, let me just listen more, because you will say, you don't listen to me, you just say things, you don't listen. And that's always said for generation to come. But you need to now focus on that. We're having that presentation being done by Tony Olden, one of the pioneers in Barbados emotional intelligence in respect of training different entities in government and as well as personal training as well. And that comes up on the 23rd of September. I think each person tune into that. That's pretty important to get some ideas how to deal with that issue of getting behind the behavior to the emotion and building up your child as well as you can.
That's excellent. I really love that. It doesn't end once we get into school. You still have the information being shared even as you go on, because things will crop up as time goes on. Let's talk a little bit more about getting onto the seminar, being a part of it. I know it's a webinar.
Yes.
So it's
totally free, so please come. No charge for you. We just want to give back to society. We're working this year closely with Camp Transition. Winner's Circle, we teamed up closely to get this done. We have Jennifer Barrows, who's our coordinator. You have her number?
Yeah, her email address is JENNJBUR JENNJ@gmail.com.
Okay.
JENNJBURROWS@gmail.com.
Okay, so you're just emailing
You
to
can
her.
email her,
Yes.
and the number is slipping me at this point.
All right. Well, we definitely can share as we move forward. Having been in this field of teaching and moving to camp transition and working along with the Winner's Circle program, for you, Ms. Grant, talk to us about, at this stage, you said today is orientation day for your school, which is SMS, the St. Michael's School. You know, what should parents be thinking? Even yesterday, I was getting some calls from parents who were saying, they weren't necessarily aware which days they were getting a little anxious and so on. And I know sometimes you can really transfer that to the little ones from where you sit as teacher and having worked with so many little ones. What would be the advice to the parents at this stage?
Okay. In terms of the orientation is really set out to give them a good idea, a bird's eye view of what the school is all about. So if you have orientation, get there. I know sometimes some people are so excited that you have mommy, daddy, uncle, and granny coming. But 2 persons will be good enough. And the whole thing is understanding. Take your notes, because some people go, they listen, there's a lot of information being shared, they listen, but they don't take any notes. And then they miss some critical points. So take your notebook or your phone, make some notes of what is being said, because everything that is said will be important, okay? And the whole thing about making that right start, that's where the orientation is organized. That's why any correspondence that comes up from the school, I would suggest that parents have like a separate folder just to put information from the school in, letters, whatever, whether it be digital or hard copy. Have that set out so that when you have to resort to it, it is there, and you don't have to be like, scrambling. So one, hear what the school is saying, understand what they're saying. If you don't understand something, ask a question. Make contact with the form teacher, the year head, the counselor, the principal. There are people there. Do not sit back and suffer silently.
Yeah.
The school
And
is there
another
to
thing I
support.
find that can cause challenges is these days everybody wants to run to social media if they feel like they have challenges. There's no longer like the need to go speak with the teacher or go to the school. They want to seek justice in the public sphere, on social media. And I think that too can be a major challenge in terms of dealing with teachers, because teachers are just people too. So, if you're just putting sometimes misinformation out there, it can create some challenges as well. There was a teacher that my daughter had when she first went into primary school, and I always remember what the teacher said. She says, "Do not talk my name with your children. They're going to tell me." So sometimes the parents, they say things too, but the little ones are listening, and that can influence the type of relationship they have with them too. All right, so the free weekly seminars, they're continuing this Saturday. This weekend is the panel discussion, Realities of Secondary School Life, what parents need to know. Your last chance to let parents know why it's important for them really to try to muscle in on this and everything else they really can to get the help, maybe make some connections as well toward the future.
All right, parenting is never easy. Yes, it's naturally physical care, but our first child is always the guinea pig side to see. We learn from them and we improve as we go into the second and the third. But you can get a chance now to upgrade that when going through that process by listening to us, coming to our webinar. We're going to share with you so much information, so many parenting tips. And then the final webinar, I'll be coming in to talk about the law and you with your children in respect of parenting. And I'm going to look at the protection bill as well a bit to say something about that. So I'm looking forward to you come to get some tips on how to be a better parent. How to deal with the teenage years, how to do the transition, what are you looking for when they come in, what you can do with them, the homework. It's not just about that, the emotional connection you need to have with them, and most importantly, be their cheerleader, be the most important cheerleader in their life.
Absolutely. I want to thank you ladies for coming in. A word to the wise is enough. Madam Justice Barbara Cook-Aline sat on the bench in the juvenile court. She knows what she's talking about. So take heed. Margaret Grant, author, director, teacher, Camp Transition, also working along with this program. The Winner's Circle, I most certainly will be emailing. I'll be there.
Can I give you the number as well?
I'm paying some good attention. Yes, please.
826-297. 826, number missing. Get that for you. 846.
846.
48. Okay, just a minute.
Yeah.
We're going to figure it out sometime
Yeah.
soon.
846.
Yes.
4819.
Yeah.
4819. We're calling.
846 4819.
And we have the flyers to share with you as well, so I hope you can share them throughout your Morning Barbados until the end
Absolutely.
of September. We would appreciate that.
Thank you so very much for coming in.
Thank you as well.
Ladies, once again. So we've shared all that great information with you. All that's left for you to do is go ahead and act on it.
Yes.
We're going to take a break and come on back. More is to come here on Morning Barbados. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
98.1's a one. It's more than a station. We don't just play music. We keep you company, cheer you up, keep you informed.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you indeed. It's Thursday and we're getting ready for back to school in many ways, certainly more ways than one. And there are lots of people who are going to be heading off from primary to secondary, others who are going from secondary to tertiary, and some are going to be leaving the country and going to tertiary institutions. Now, Joycelyn Aline is a 2023 Chevening Scholar for Barbados. She'll be pursuing a Master of Science in Strategic Entrepreneurship and Innovation at King's College, London, where she hopes to return to Barbados and accelerate the performance of the SME community in Barbados. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning, Tisha. Thanks so much for having me here today.
It's wonderful to have you here with us. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
What an amazing feat. Talk to me about what first intrigued you about this scholarship program.
Sure. So what first attracted me to the Chevening Scholarship is really that they target and they're all about leaders and individuals who are really passionate about creating change in their countries and in the world overall. So I really wanted to be able to surround myself with individuals who had those values and who really found that important. And Chevening makes it very accessible by giving you a fully funded, scholarship to pursue a master's in the UK while also creating that network. So that was really the selling point for me. It's just an amazing opportunity overall. And that's what really attracted me to the scholarship.
Excellent. What was the process like of getting your application in and sorting out? I'm told it can be a little tedious, but all for good reason.
Yeah, so it's a pretty lengthy process. It's about 8 months from the time you submit your application until you find out whether you've been selected. So actually, their applications are open now. They open September 12th until November 7th. So if anyone is interested, I highly encourage you to apply. So the application process, pretty much the big part of the beginning of it is you have these 4 essays, along with other fields you have to complete, of course. And it's 500 word essays where you talk about your leadership skills, your networking skills, and you also let Chevening know why you want to go to the UK and why Chevening and why the school you're pursuing, and also your plans after you get the program to help develop the country. So that is where it can take a little bit of time. So I definitely encourage individuals to start early, so they give themselves time to plan and reflect and write and rewrite the essays as they need to. And pretty much once I submitted my application, it was a bit of a waiting game. They normally let you know around February or so if you're shortlisted for an interview. And then you have the interview process, which this coming year is from the end of February to the end of April. And then you have a bit of a lengthy wait until June when you find out whether you have been successful.
Nerve-wracking to have to wait that length of time to hear if you've been shortlisted and then to move forward. I know you have lots of plans. You're working in marketing communications for some private, pretty large corporations and so on as well. You've also studied at the tertiary level in South Florida as well. So talk to us about your plans once you return.
Sure, no problem. So my plans really, I do believe that this program is going to be able to help me to have a more academically and technically robust toolkit to really be able to help the entrepreneurial community here in Barbados. So what I do with my business, the Growth Studio, is really twofold. So as you mentioned, on one end, I do work with larger organizations with marketing consultancies, but on the other end, I do work with entrepreneurs, helping them to market their businesses so they can increase their revenue. And through that, that's really what really helped me to settle on my degree, because what I really want to do is to be able to help the entrepreneurial space in Barbados by helping with a lot of education and capacity building. So my plan is really to be able to have a lot of different, educational resources, create a framework so that individuals can come and learn exactly what they need to do when they're starting a business, how to market it, how to launch it. So I'm really looking to marry my marketing and communications background with this strategic entrepreneurship and innovation degree so that I can also help individuals to be competitive, not just in Barbados, but on an international landscape if they're interested in creating digital businesses. And I want also to work a lot with the youth to be able to introduce them to entrepreneurship from a young age so they can be curious about it, and also help a lot with mentorship, specifically in the entrepreneurship community, because community really is everything when you start your own business and are looking to be an entrepreneur.
Is interesting and sounds very exciting. It sounds like a marriage made in heaven with the two, with your background and what you're hoping to accomplish. Now, let's go back to the application process, because I was listening painstakingly as you said you had to write about 4 essays, 4 to 500 words. And I know for some people, that could be a little challenging to be able to delve into yourself and figure out what you want to put out there about you. What do you discover through this process, through this very lengthy process about you and what you wanted to do and where you wanted to go?
So I think for me, what I discovered, I'm someone who loves reflection. So I'm constantly reflecting, but really sitting down and really thinking about, okay, how is it that I really want to impact Barbados and help the entrepreneurial community? I think that it really just reaffirmed. And I think for me, I was able to see how even when I was younger, everything that I was doing has kind of been helping to get me where I am and has been leading me to this path. So it really just reaffirmed all the leadership roles I had before, how I really want to be in that leadership and personal development space. And I'm going to be doing that, pretty much through the Growth Studio. It really did also help me to reflect on some strengths that I have in terms of communication and networking. One of the essays, you do have to speak about your networking skills and give examples of those. So it really was very nice to reflect and see, I love meeting new people and making connections. So it was good to reflect and really learn that, it's something that is really a strength professionally as well, that can help others and that I can also help others to be able to become better at.
Florida is one thing, transitioning to the London town weather, transitioning to the UK might be a little bit different. So I know you're looking forward to all the exciting things, sights and sounds and everything else that will help to continue to develop you into this global citizen, this global employee that will then bring all of that knowledge, experience back here to Barbados. And we most certainly will be waiting with open arms. Again, congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
And we most certainly wish you the very best. And we're hoping that you will keep us up to date on your Chevening journey.
Yes, most definitely I will. And thank you so much for all of your comments. Thank you.
Speak with the High Commissioner a little bit later, and he's going to be along talking to us along with Gilly Metzkin, who is the Political and Chevening Officer at the British High Commission here in Barbados. We're going to talk to them. But right now, we're going to take a break to update you on the news. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
It's summer vacation, and CBC TV8 says laugh a little. Your mid-mornings have now included some family-friendly, side-splitting series like The Partridge Family, Benson, and Designing Women. TV not to be missed this vacation. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on CBC TV8.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 2.5 minutes after 7 o'clock, time for an update of the news. Sad news this morning, the 46-year-old man who was electrocuted while carrying out a task at his St. George workplace yesterday has been identified by police. He is Patrick Jones of Colleton Tenantry in St. John. Meanwhile, officials from the Barbados Light and Power Company have expressed their condolences to his family in the wake of the incident. Manager of Communications and Government Relations with the power company, Jackie Marshall Clark, says they're saddened to learn about what happened. According to police, Jones had only started working at the Glacial Pure Ice Plant where the incident occurred on Monday. They said prior to the incident, he was handling a long metal object being hoisted by a crane onto the roof when it came into contact with electrical lines, causing him to be electrocuted. Progress is being made with Barbados' efforts to establish a workplace policy for gender-based violence. Several local and regional employers have signed on to a special project to implement the plan. Wendy Burke has all the details.
The official statistics state that 1 in every 5 women is impacted by violence in the workplace. However, the Labour Minister believes Barbados and the region's numbers could be higher, but data is not always available. Colin Jordan says this policy is not about compliance with international organizations and their programs, but about doing what is right. Minister Jordan says gender-based violence has impacted women and girls globally with a greater frequency than males, but both are negatively impacted by it.
Violence and harassment in the world of work and at work causes harm to individuals, causes harm to families, causes harm to businesses and to the wider society. It affects people's lives. It affects people's dignity, their self-esteem, their health, their well-being. It also worsens inequalities in societies and undermines business productivity. there should be no place for and no tolerance for violence and harassment.
The president of the Caribbean Employers Confederation commended all those companies that have endorsed the implementation of the Spotlight project.
Among the key milestones of this first stage of our Spotlight initiative was the creation of a gender-based violence workplace policy template, backed by a toolkit, communications materials, and training programs. We commend all employers and our partners in the labor movement for their endorsements. Indeed, ours is the only program that has been granted Phase 2 funding. This, however, should be seen as a humbling assessment of the ongoing potential of the program to impact our workplace for good.
A memorandum of understanding was signed by local companies and the labor officials, along with the UNFPA, the United Nations, and the European Union, who are all on board with the project. Wendy Burke, CBC News.
The president of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry is stressing the point that all businesses are interconnected. James Clark reinforced the idea as he addressed the Caribbean Climate Investment Program, or CCIP, Energy and Climate Financing for the Eastern Caribbean's meeting at Hilton, Barbados. He was speaking on the topic transition to resilience by the private sector. Mr. Clark told the gathering, made up of government and private sector officials, that countries such as Barbados have short to medium-term goals for extensive electrification, the resilience of power generation systems, including energy storage facilities, and backup is paramount.
Physical resilience, weather events, storms, hurricanes, flooding, coastal erosion, sea level rises, storm surge, wind damage, all of these things can lead to infrastructural damage to homes, buildings, fleets, transportation fleets, vessels, shipping vessels, utilities, electricity, gas, water, telecommunications, roads, electric grid, ports of entry, and even the photovoltaic and wind farms that exist on the island and are expected to only increase.
The BCCI head says the world is going through tumultuous times and public and private sector buildings should be designed to withstand extreme weather events.
Our operational resilience, can we have distributed resources? Can your business be located in multiple locations? In Barbados, maybe in another island? Do you have off-site backup for your data and your software? This applies very much for businesses. Most of them run on software, especially financial institutions. Access to financial institutions, cash, foreign exchange, all of these things, highly important. Cybersecurity, I don't think I need to mention that anymore. I think we see enough examples of that coming out in the news every day.
Well, that's it for our news update. Our next newscast is Newsday at 12 noon on TV8, followed by The World at 1 via our radio network of stations, 100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM. Morning Barbados continues after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's Match Day Live from the 246 with host Damian Best. Your all-access pass to the action happening in the BFA Premier League and beyond. Every last Monday of the month on CBC TV8. Kickoff time, 8:30 p.m. with analysis from our panel and highlights of the top performances. You can weigh in on the discussion via WhatsApp on 228-5562. It's Match Day Live from the 246. Don't you miss it.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So 10 minutes after 7 o'clock, welcome back. Always good to have you with us. It's Thursday, of course, and I know you're getting ready for back to school in many, many ways. And we also are getting ready for back to school here at Mornin Barbados. I told you that we were going to have Gilly Metzkin, who's political and Chevening officer with the British High Commission here in Barbados, along with His Excellency Scott Furston Wood, who is the British High Commissioner to Barbados, in studio with us this morning, talking about the Chevening Scholarship. So good morning and welcome. Good to have you with us. Of course, we're experiencing some really great weather here in Barbados, nice and sunshiny. So usually I like to say to people who are here, even for an extended period, expats are visiting, often different weather. So welcome to our weather. But certainly great to have you here to talk about the Chevening Scholarship Program. Let's talk about the program at the very base, at the very beginning, and what it means to be able to offer this program to students across the globe.
Well, we're really proud of the Chevening program because it's a way for us to give a fantastic opportunity to talented individuals who really want to make the most of their potential. So we make an investment in them, in their education, but much more than that, we're making an investment in the future of their countries or their regions, because the whole point of Chevening is that they go to the UK, they get this education, but then they bring it back. They bring it back to help make a difference, make a change in their own countries. And doing that, they're part of a global network of Chevening scholars all around the world.
Now, Ms. Metzkin, I know that you've been a part of the program for quite some time. I believe we've met before in talking about the program. So let's talk about some of the people who have passed through the program through the years and what a difference it has made.
Well, thank you for that. Yes, we've had a lot of very talented young people coming through. Just recently you saw Joycelyn this morning, and she's being accompanied this morning by Dr. Kia Lewis, who is a child obesity expert, and she's just going up to the UK to study for a year in public health. So she will be a great addition to Barbados in the future. We also have other alumni like Dr. Ronnie Yearwood, the leader of the DLP, your colleague Carol Martindale at the Nation newspaper, Dr. Kevin Greenidge, the governor of the central bank. I could go on. I'll stop there.
Definitely some noticeable names here in Barbados. Let's talk about the criteria for students who want to be a part of the program. I know there's a quick approaching deadline as well.
Shall I take
Why
that
don't
one?
you talk about that?
Let me do that. Well, first of all, the application period opened on Tuesday, the 12th of September, and it will close on the 7th of November. So we're slightly shorter than usual, but that makes no difference because there's plenty of time for people to apply. Applicants need to have an undergraduate degree already. So if you're studying at the moment and you don't have the result of your degree, then you should think about applying the next year. The other important thing is that we're looking for people who know where they want to go. So we have a criteria which is you have to have done 2 years of work, but that could be loosely described as anything where you've made a commitment to an internship, to working during your vacations. But generally it means that we're looking for people who really have got an idea. They've been in work a little bit, they know what they're doing, and they know where they want to go. So those are two pretty important things. You have to have an undergraduate degree, some work experience.
All right, sounding excellent. Now, could you shed some light on the various categories and fields of study that the scholarship program covers?
Sure, let me take that one again. The wonderful thing about Chevening is that it's any subject, any taught masters at any university in the UK. We are not prescriptive about what we want people to do. We obviously want people to do subjects which are going to be for the betterment of their country, their region, themselves. So let me give you some examples. At the moment we have some cyber, public health, entrepreneurship, environmental law. These are sorts of areas that we have currently, but in the past we've had very different. We've had film studies, we've had even some theology, a community activist working in that area. So we're very broad areas, any way you like.
But I think, as Julie says, we're particularly excited about people who have got a real vision for how they can make a difference in their country, how they can take this opportunity that we give them and then bring it back to their communities, to their economies, to help shape the future. And we've seen, as Julie's described, we've seen across this region, Chevening scholars go on to be politicians, ministers, lawyers, journalists, people who are really shaping the future of their countries. And we hope that the opportunity that we gave them to study in the UK has been an instrumental part of that.
Absolutely. We also had an opportunity to speak with Dr. Kia Lewis a little earlier last month, about the opportunities and what she hopes to be able to do once she comes back here to Barbados to share with us in the area of non-communicable diseases and childhood obesity and things of that nature. Talk to us about how you're able to guide those who are able to benefit from the scholarship through the process of transitioning to the UK, because I know as a part of the program, speaking with many of the recipients as well, what they've said is, the level of support that they're able to get really makes the difference.
Well, we're very lucky that we have Julie, because Julie has been supporting generations of Chevening scholars who've gone from Barbados and the wider region to the UK and come back. So we do take great care to support our scholars before they travel, to make sure they've got the information they need to make the most of their time in the UK, to enjoy it as well. But crucially, we keep in touch with them, of course, while they're in the UK, but then when they come back, because the real strength of Chevening is being part of that network, that family. And as I say, we make a significant investment in these individuals, and part of that is us establishing a network of people for the future who can be friends of the UK, but also friends of each other.
That's excellent. Let's talk about what the scholarship offers for people who are thinking, this could be a really great option for me.
It really can be a great option, because essentially you get everything that you need. So all of your university fees are paid for. The only slight exception is for if you're doing an MBA. We do cap that, but we still make a contribution to an MBA. All your travel expenses, your living expenses, dissertation expenses, and then you even get little bits of money to go and attend central events where all the Chevenings come together. All 1,600 scholars from around the world meet up in London at the beginning and the end of their Chevening experience. So a lot of support. And a lot of support, actually, I should say. Each scholar has an officer at the Chevening Secretariat who is their main contact to do with their scholarship. And all these universities also have very good international offices these days. They have support for international students. They know that it's important to keep people who come from away, to give them the support to settle into the UK life and to tell them, all the things they need to know about living in the UK. So, a lot of support for Chevenings.
Absolutely. It can be difficult sometimes to be able to transition to other places. So that's very, very important. And the level of support being offered obviously has been shown through the years and shared by those people who've been recipients of the program or who have heard about it. In terms of age ranges or any other parameters that we need to work within the confines of, is there anything more? What do you really need to do, or who do you need to be able to apply for this scholarship program?
Well, in age terms, no age limits at all. We have no age discrimination at all. Never too late. I think sort of you haven't proved you're a leader by the time you're 65 or 70. Perhaps we might.
Well, never say never.
Never say never. Okay, but no. There are no limits. Essentially, it's the leaders of tomorrow in whatever sphere that people are working. We've talked. The High Commissioner has spoken about the various areas that we've covered. Anywhere, any area at all, leadership is what we're looking for.
And of course, the program started way back in the early 80s. Things have changed over the years. For a few years there, we had to battle through all that was happening with the global pandemic and things of that nature. So as High Commissioner coming in, what are your hopes for this new crop of people who are applying for the scholarship as we move into the 2024 academic year?
Well, you're right that for a time our scholars had a rather difficult and different experience, as people did, of course, across the world, with face-to-face interactions being removed. Thankfully, that's all now behind us, and I'm really excited for for this current crop of Chevening scholars, because they're going to have a fantastic time in the UK, I know. My job, of course, as High Commissioner here is to strengthen the relationship between the United Kingdom and Barbados, and the United Kingdom and the wider region. And there is a great deal that we're doing together as governments. We're working together on issues like climate change. We're very supportive of Prime Minister Motley's Bridgetown initiative to establish a fairer international system. We're working together on issues around security and crime. There's a lot we are doing government to government, but actually the real strength of the relationship between our countries is the people-to-people connections. And of course those connections between Barbados and the UK are incredibly strong, with people travelling back and forth, people with family connections, business connections. But these Chevening scholars, they themselves now get to weave their own very special thread through that sort of rich tapestry of connections between our countries, because their experience in the UK and what they bring back will help to strengthen the relationship between our countries. And I'm really confident that each of them will go on to play a really important part in making sure together Barbados and the United Kingdom can do even greater things together in the future.
That truly is exciting. Let's talk deadlines, just so people understand. I know that you're coming up on a 40th anniversary, which is a major feat, so congratulations on that as well.
Thank you. The deadline for applications is the 7th of November. That's a very hard deadline. It's midnight on the 7th UK time. I would put out a plea to people not to submit on the last day. What can happen, I won't say will happen, but can happen, is that there are thousands of people around the world hitting enter at the same time on the last day, and the system may not like it. Just take a bit of time to do it a little bit earlier. We will be offering a top tips webinar. Follow our social media page, UK in Barbados and Eastern Caribbean, and you'll find out when we're doing that. And we're also offering a session for UWI around the region. This is on the 10th of October, and on the 17th of October there'll be the top tips webinar online.
That's excellent. I know that usually you do have that, where students who are studying in the UK, you give them an opportunity to kind of network and find out more about what it would be like and ask questions and things of that nature as well. Any major celebrations planned for this 40th anniversary?
I confess we've already done it. We celebrated earlier this year when we had one of our Foreign Office ministers here. Minister David Ratley came and met all of our Chevening alumni here, and we had a great evening together.
But in a sense, we celebrate Chevening all year round, every year, I think, because we are always seeing our alumni, we're always hearing from them, we're working with them in different ways. And we just hear time and again from them what an amazing experience Chevening has been for them, of course because of the education that they've been able to get, but perhaps above all because of that connection that they were able to make with so many other people around the world. I hope as well they come back with a really positive experience of spending time in the UK. Some of them will have known Britain before they travel, but for many people this is their first experience of our country. And I think it's always a positive one. People are often surprised, I think, to discover just how diverse and vibrant a place London is, but how much more there is to see than just London. And we always encourage people to get out around the country to see just how much we've got to offer in the UK.
Absolutely, and it's a wonderful opportunity, as we've been mentioning all morning long, especially since education has been very important to the Barbadian people. For social advancement and everything else, to bring Barbados along, and most certainly to be able to build these relationships through the years. I think Barbadians have ultimately seen the benefits of it. As you've mentioned, the recipients are here for us to see, and I wish you a further 40 years in Chevening and doing well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing with us. Remember, that's a hard deadline. You were told. Gilly Mitskin, who is Political and Chevening Officer with the British High Commission here in Barbados, and His Excellency Scott Furston Wood, who is the British High Commissioner here in Barbados, sharing with us this morning all about the Chevening program. Make sure if it is an option for you, if you can do it, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, next year might be an option. And no age limit. It's always a good thing. So be sure to check it out again. Thank you so much for sharing with us. All right, we're going to take another break and come on back here on Morning Barbados. Stay with us.
Morning, morning,
Thank
morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Children, the The summer holiday is almost over, but are you back to school ready? Get back to school ready with Mornin Barbados and get a chance to win a back to school bundle, including a printer, a tablet, and headphones, just in time for the new school year. The Mornin Barbados Are You Back to School Ready promotion starts August 31st until September 13th. If you're between the ages of 8 to 15, all you have to do is tune in to Mornin Barbados and listen for when we ask, are you back to school ready? Call us at 228-5562 or 228-5563. Answer 3 questions correctly and your name goes forward to the final draw. Remember, callers must be between the ages of 8 and 15. The winner will be announced on September 14th.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Did I mention that this morning we're going to be announcing the winner of the Back to School Ready promotion? We're going to tell you which student who participated in the questions over the last few days will win that tech bundle. We're going to do a random draw with all the names, and we're going to announce the name of the winner this morning. That person who walks away with a headset, a tablet, as well as a printer. Compliments of Morning Barbados. So wishing you all the best. Most certainly if you're going into Bridgetown today, we want to wish you all the best. Be careful as you move around as well. A special good morning to those of you who are in Bridgetown at the various stores, getting the shoes and socks and little knickknacks ready as the parents come on out to get the kids ready for school next week. Lots of children are going to be moving around with the parents, and you know what that means. Take your time as you go through Bridgetown as well. I know sometimes we're in a hurry, especially when it comes to the little areas with the lights and so on. Sometimes as drivers, we have to slow down a little bit and remember that the roads are also there for the pedestrians. So be mindful of that as well. It's time now for us to tell you all about an upcoming seminar session that's coming, a conference in October. And I've had an opportunity to speak with a number of the presenters who are going to be a part of that very important conference that's coming up in October. It's called the Values Education Conference, and it's telling you all about values education, what it means, and how it can be seamlessly integrated into Barbadian society. Here's one of the conversations that I had with one of the presenters who will be here in Barbados in a matter of weeks. Now, over the past 50 years, Sathya education in human values has been implemented in over 120 countries worldwide and is most certainly achieving significant success in transforming individuals, families, schools, workplaces, and communities. So over the past few weeks, we've been sharing with you those people who are at the forefront of implementing these systems all across the globe. Today, we're pleased to have with us Mr. Alfredo Harmson, who is a representative of Ecuador, and having implemented this system of learning in that particular area of the world, we're interested in him sharing with us how it can impact us here in Barbados. So let's welcome him to Morning Barbados. Good to have you with us.
Hola, Trisha. How are you? It's very nice to be with you and the Barbados people. It's a pleasure to be sharing here.
Absolutely. Talk to us a little bit more about values education, how it came to you knowing about it, and how you've been able to successfully incorporate it in Ecuador.
Well, there was a way of being aware that we need to have an answer for humanity in the crisis that we are living. It's a crisis of moral, of corruption, of so many things happening in the world, in the politics, everywhere, where humans are against humans, that we found out that there is a solution. There is a good solution, and the solution is education. But not is one solution, it's the only solution. Actually, we need to form students. It's not only to illustrate students, or not only put information into students, but to form them, to show them that they are able to have opportunities in life if they are good human beings, if they act according to their connection with what they are. We understand our students as human beings working in 5 levels of personality. They come from a space where they are the body, the mind, they have emotional space, they have love in them, that's psychic space, and finally they are spiritual beings. So when you work at the schools, normally you are working in the intellectual space, but we are actually beings that work in those 5 levels of personality, and in the educational space we need to work with those spaces. That's the reason why we created a school in Bahia de Caracas, a very small town in the coast of Ecuador, in a very tropical area, where we are working with 430 students during 33 years. And we were able to win the innovation prize in Ecuador between 50 schools that were participating in 2022. And that was because we were going back to the basic. We were going back to what the humans are. Our students are good human beings, and that's why we were able to attain this prize.
That truly is excellent. Talk to us about the specific area that we're going to be able to see you present in as someone who is going to be a part of, a speaker of the conference that's coming up in a matter of days.
We have two spaces where we are going to participate. One of those spaces is the work that we are doing in Latin America, in different countries, in many countries of Latin America, where we are applying the Human Values Program in schools. We have schools in Argentina, in Brazil, in Ecuador. We have 2 schools. We have schools in Guatemala, in Mexico, and Dominican Republic. I hope I don't miss anyone. And we are making that work. So we are going to present the work and the results that we are having in those schools. On the other hand, there is a conference where we are going to share what means to have this a system working for the community. And that means that how you serve the community. In 2016, we had an earthquake in the area that we live, and our school, for instance, became a life space. While all other schools were closed, we were open, holding families into school, delivering mattresses, delivering water, delivering food. We were making medical camps all over the area. We were keeping students coming to play at schools, receiving people from abroad, making those medical camps. So many things that we were doing, and we were able to build also some houses for people that lose their homes during the earthquake. That means that the idea of human beings interacting one with each other is serve all, love all, and serve all. And the concept of this is that we are responsible for what is happening around us. It's not only a question of being on a society and take things out of the society. It's a question of being part of it and serve in it. So more or less the idea is to share in the conference how we can project to the community through the working values. That's one of the facts that we are going to work, and we are going to show the work that schools and institutions, educational institutions, institutes are doing in human values in Latin America.
That's truly exciting. And I know that it's based on the philosophy of educare, which means to kind of draw out that which is already is that which is already within. So there should be some level of renewed interest, you know, for us to be able to hear how it's been working in your particular communities, which are very, very similar. But before you go, boast of maybe one of the biggest things that you're happy about to see that has come out of teaching in this way to members of your community. What has been one of the things that you truly are happy to share?
Well, you are speaking about beautiful things like Educare, bringing what there is, you know, every child has values in themselves. You know, we are values. And the only thing that we are doing is we are facilitators so that values can show, you know. And the question that you make is beautiful, you know, transformation. When we speak about our community, the first thing, the first challenge that we have is teachers' transformations, because teachers cannot be able to inspire the students if they don't transform themselves. So we ask our teachers when they come to the school, hey, you need to transform yourself, and we work with the teachers. For instance, we have study circles. In those study circles, we work self-knowledge. With the self-knowledge, there is an awareness coming to the teachers, and then the teachers are able to work with the students what they are being aware now. It's a change of paradigm. It's amazing. It's a way of changing their personality. Yesterday we were having a wonderful study circle, and one of the teachers said, "You remember how I was, and you can see how I changed now." You know, it's wonderful. Other things that we are doing is we are working very close to the parents, to the family. The parents, when they come to the school, they have to sign a compromise, a letter where they said, "I'm coming to all the activities that the school is asking us to come." For instance, we have 5 parents' workshops during the year, and they have to come. Every 2 months, we have one workshop. And workshops are not only to tell them, hey, this is good and this is bad. Workshops are to show them how they can improve their way of living and how they can work with their children. The last workshop we had is nonviolent communication based on Marshall Rosenberg's theory. And it's amazing how they improve the way they are working at home with the family. The family itself is growing together. And there was one of the teachers was the former mayor of the city. One of the students, of the parents, was the former mayor of the city. And she was telling us that when she was in campaign and she was walking the streets, she could say, you know, this student is from that school, and take the Satyasai students. And she was asking them, where are you studying? And they said Satyasai school. And she can recognize because of their sight, their eyes. They were the way they were looking were different. So education is for transformation, to bring here what they are, values, to bring out, to extract what they are.
Absolutely. Truly meant to nurture positive qualities and capabilities. I want to thank you so much for sharing with us today, Alfredo Harmson. Of course, you'll be here in Barbados for that conference. Strengthening Values Education, October 12th, 13th, and 14th. All that's left to do is for you to get out and register to be able to be a part of this amazing conference that's coming up. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
It's a pleasure, Tricia. I'm expecting to be there soon.
It has received international awards for its efficacy and proven holistic effectiveness, and the program is flexible and readily adaptable to all cultures and conditions.
Join us on October 12th, 13th, and 14th for an international conference on strengthening values education to be held in Barbados, embracing 17 Caribbean countries. The conference will focus on the quintessential essence of us as human beings and expand that awareness into the various facets of our lives, including relationships with family members, friends, the community, and the workplace. With inspirational, diverse, and experienced speakers from several continents and countries, including Asia, Africa, Greece, Colombia, Trinidad, Ecuador, and the USA, there will be multiple perspectives on working with human values in a range of settings. In addition, a variety of inspirational workshops will be conducted by our speakers and panelists as they continue sharing their expertise and first-hand experience on this powerful lifelong journey of transformation and expansion, building better lives for our families, our children, all our students, our communities, and our world. So join us on October 12th, 13th, and 14th. There is no charge for registration. We look forward to seeing you there.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Children, the summer holiday is almost over, but are you back to school ready? Get back to school ready with Mornin Barbados and get a chance to win a back to school bundle, including a printer, a tablet, and headphones, just in time for the new school year. The Mornin Barbados Are You Back to School Ready promotion starts August 31st until September 13th. If you're between the ages of 8 to 15, all you have to do is tune in to Mornin Barbados and listen for when we ask, are you back to school ready? Call us at 228-5562 or 228-5563. Answer 3 questions correctly and your name goes forward to the final draw. Remember, callers must be between the ages of 8 and 15. The winner will be announced on September 14th.
And look at that, today is September 14th. That means it's time for us to announce the winner. I have a box with names, all the people who would have called me over the last couple of days and gotten in with your answers and so on. All the names are here in this box. And we are going to be making that draw so that we know who is the lucky winner of that tech bundle that we've been telling you all about for the last few weeks. So, you know, drum rolls. Now, all you have to do is come in and answer simple questions. We had quite a few very young people come in between the ages of 8 and 15. And this lucky person will be walking away with a printer, a tablet, and of course, a headset. So a wonderful bundle to be able to get back to school ready. And you told me that you were indeed back to school ready. So I have a name. I have a name. I'm nervous. The name is J. Sean Burgess. Look at that. J. Sean Burgess is the name. Look at that. Congratulations, J. Sean Burgess. You are the winner of the Big Morning Barbados promotion. There your name came out. You are the winner of the tech bundle. You will be going forward with that wonderful printer for school. You're going to have your tablet. You're also going to have that headset so that you can truly be back to school ready. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to Mom. We're going to try to reach out to Jay Sean. So if you are listening, call us before we even call you. We want to see how you feel about winning. So again, congratulations. The winner of the big promotion, Back to School Ready. Are you back to school ready here on Morning Barbados? Is Jay Sean Burgess. Congratulations. We're going to be right back. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.va.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Congratulations to our lucky winner who is going to be walking away with the prize. Congratulations. We certainly are trying to reach out to that winner so that we can have a conversation with you. We want to hear how you feel about winning, or if you even know, because who knows, that person might not be watching this morning. All right, I think we have him on the phone line. Good morning. Hello. J. Sean Burgess, good morning.
Hey.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Did you hear that you are moving forward for a chance to win in the back to school promotion for Morning Barbados?
No, please.
Did you answer any questions correctly?
Yes, please.
All right. Can you remember the questions you answered? Or maybe not?
What you need for back to school?
Mm-hmm. All right. Who encouraged you to call in?
My mommy.
Okay. And do you remember what you were going to win?
Headset, tablet, or laptop.
All right. We just want to be sure. If you were to win these things, what would you do with them? You know, how would they help you with your schoolwork?
To help me my homework I'm going to work.
All right, Jay Sean, I understand you're going into first form.
Class 3.
You're going into class 3. At which school?
Welch's Primary School.
Welch's Primary. Do you love going to school over at Welch's Primary?
Yes, please.
All right, and you're looking forward to heading back out to school and meeting up with all of your good friends and teachers and stuff like that, yes?
Yes, please.
All right, good stuff. Well, what would you do if I told you that you're the winner of the Morning Barbados Back to School promotion?
That you would be helping me with my schoolwork.
Oh, that's too sweet. Where's Mommy?
She's here.
Let me speak with Mommy, please.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mommy. What's your name?
Lana Preston.
Good morning, Lana. Congratulations. Jay Sean is our lucky winner of the promotion. So tell me how you enticed him to participate. He told me that it's all through you.
Yes. Actually, his grandmother called and told me about the whole competition. And she encouraged him to watch Mornin Barbados. So I kept calling so that he could get through.
Oh, that's excellent. I suppose this tech bundle is very important in these times where we have so much going on. To have a printer, a brand new tablet, and a headset will certainly go a long way for Jay Sean in the coming school year, yes?
Yes, it definitely will.
And are you, Mummy, Lana, back to school ready?
Kind of.
Still a few things to do.
Yes.
All right. Well, congratulations to you, and thank you for encouraging him to be a part of the competition. Again, congrats to little Jay Sean. I think he will thoroughly enjoy the prizes of the printer and the tablet and the headset to be able to take care of it. Thanks for being a part of it, and congrats, okay?
But thank you as well.
All right. Bye, Jay Sean Burgess, the winner of the CBC Morning Barbados Are You Back to School Ready promotion. Congratulations to everyone over at his primary school and those getting ready to head back over there. Lucky winners. Hey, we're going to take another break and come on back here on Morning Barbados. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
98.1 to 1 is more than a station. We don't just play music.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so we want to say a special good morning to everybody at the Barbados Museum and Historical Society as well. They've been sharing some wonderful information with us. And early on, if you missed it, I just have to share this with you again. Now, back on the 14th of September, 1912, there is a story of a case of the Duppy Dust. Yep, You heard me right. The Duppy Dust case happened on the 14th of September, 1912. Now, apparently, Amy Daniel, a resident of Speightstown in St. Peter, stood in the dock of the Assistant Court of Appeals before Justices Knight, Briggs, and Gowdy to appeal a sentence of 1 month's imprisonment for smearing Duppy dust on the face of her friend, Rebecca Scantlebury. Rebecca Scantlebury reported that while she was at Mr. Hutchinson's ironmongery with a friend named Margaret Burrows, Miss Daniel choked her by the neck in the presence of another witness, Georgina Stanford, and rubbed an unknown substance across her face, which resulted in immediate pain and discomfort. As word of the attack swept all across Speightstown, residents quickly concluded that Amy Daniel, though not a known practitioner of obeah, had used Duppy dust in this attack. By evening, Rebecca Scantlebury, who was employed as a cook at Haywards, could barely see. How about that? Do you believe that story? Well, it's absolutely true. And we got the information, compliments of the Barbados Museum and Historical Society. That happened on this day back in 1912. Moral of the story, be wary of Duppy dust. I know where there will be no Duppy dust today. Absolutely none. It's going to be at Q in the community. It's Thursday. That means it's Q Day. We are heading out for the best place to be in BIM on a Thursday. Q in the community, and they're going to be at Briar Hall Playing Field from 11 o'clock this morning over in Christchurch. So come on out and be a part of it. If you can't make it early, tune in, because Q 100.7 FM, the entire family will be there. And it's also going to be live on the radio station as well. So you have lots to look forward to. Thanks so much to all of our sponsors for Q. On Q 100.7 FM and for Q in the community. Make sure you get out and enjoy the dancing and the karaoke and just the vibe that is Q. Of course, lots of people come out. It's food, it's drinks. It's just a wonderful vibe to be a part of Q in the community. Now, of course, we want you to get ready for the Dance the Mambo Way competition, which you can get the chance to win $500 in cash as well. So it's called Dance the Mambo Way competition. All right, and that's coming up at Q as well. So if you can do the mambo, who knows? You might be walking away today with $500 cash. A special good morning to the Q family. I know that you guys are really a family, so you're going to get together and make sure you pull that together. So coming up tomorrow on Morning Barbados, we have lots planned as well. Koyman Holdings International Topic Tool Fest, that's coming up, and we're going to tell you a whole lot more about that. Power up for your next project is coming up. They're talking about amazing combo deals and discounts and all of that wonderful stuff at Koyman. Definitely looking forward to the Tool Fest. I know it's something that the guys will enjoy, but the ladies can as well. I know that you're often very into your fixer-upper projects, so this is something you want to stay tuned for tomorrow. Plus the East Caribbean Conference of Seventh-day Adventist Health Week and the National Health Walk that's coming up. We're going to be telling you about that. You know that Seventh-day Adventists are very into healthy eating and a healthy lifestyle, and we love to hear all that they're doing. So we're going to tell you more about that coming up and let you know how you can get involved, how you can be, and why you should be a part of it. Now, Shakira Shuri is a former national athlete and coach, and she is fighting against cancer. And she's working to raise some funds. We want to have her in on Morning Barbados tomorrow to tell us a whole lot more about her GoFundMe page and how she's seeking to raise some funds so that she can continue to fight cancer. She'll be in to talk to us about that. The music group Color, they have a new music video, and we're going to share that with you tomorrow too, featuring some very, very beautiful scenes. If you've not seen it before, we want to make sure we share that with you tomorrow as well. Plus, the 2023 Food and Rum Festival's Culture of Cuisine Talks. That's right. We're going to be sharing more about that as well. So you want to make sure that you stick around so we can tell you more about that. It's coming up in October. So you want to make sure that you know all the latest information, because we're telling you about how you can get a chance to win as well, to be a part of the Barbados Food and Rum Festival 2023. So lots happening tomorrow on Morning Barbados. I certainly hope you have a great day today. If you're heading into Bridgetown, just be mindful that it's warm. The sun is a little different, people. It's burning, it's hitting a little different. So make sure you get your sun cream on. Make sure you stay hydrated with the water and everything else you need. And particularly for the little ones, I know when I was much younger, when people brought out young children, they would make sure they had umbrellas and hats and so on for them. So if you're bringing out the little ones, keep them covered as well. Remember to wear your smiles as you go through your day and do something wonderful for somebody else, okay? And most importantly, be back here in the morning for the Friday edition of Morning Barbados. On behalf of the entire team, have a great Thursday. See you, God willing, tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.